Um, yeah. So far, I just didn't have time to make a review because I saw Friday night, went to sleep, woke up, work, came back home, slept, got up, had work, and now I'm off. So yeah, I had time to really think about it, and honestly, ever since honestly after Phase 4, after Phase 4, after Avengers Endgame, I really didn't have high hopes because it really felt like it was an ending to the whole saga, the whole entire arc they were trying to tell from Iron Man 1. And it felt more of like an Iron Man journey, and I mean, yeah, there were other characters that were trying to do journeys on, but most Iron Man. The first movie after the end of Phase 3. I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home was the last movie technically in Phase 3, but technically after Endgame, excluding Spider-Man, it felt disappointing. Black Panther honestly was not the movie we needed now. We should have gotten that movie a while back, but not that movie we had gone in theaters. A completely different movie, but Black Widow movie. Black Widow movie sucked. What else? I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home was a really well entertaining fan nerdy movie, but it was not as good as like something like the Batman. Um, So technically, this is the last, not just the last Marvel movie within Phase 4, but the last content from Marvel within Phase 4. So this is the first phase to kind of not have like a. I mean, yeah, there's been crossovers within this Phase 4, but not like So within the last few phases, led up to each Avengers movie, and then within each phase we had Tony Stark making a cameo on the Incredible Hulk. What else? Let's see. And Thor, there was a Hawkeye cameo. Iron Man 2, there was Black Widow. You had small crossovers, and then you had, let's see, a little bit of more crossover references in Phase 2. Phase 3, we had Captain America Civil War, Avengers 1 and 2, and other crossovers, including Thor Ragnarok, which included Hulk. But it all led up to one big crossover finale. And this is the first movie where it did not lead to one big giant crossover movie, which ended the phase essentially. But honestly, I think based on all the Phase 4 content, and I'm including cinematography, acting, script writing, dialogues, the way it was shot, the CGI, the visual effects, I think this movie properly utilized every single aspect, the emotions. I think this is the only Phase 4 movie and Phase 4 content which had amazing writing, amazing directing, amazing acting, dialogue, script writing, story, um, everything, cinematography, the lighting, the tone. It was amazing. So yeah, I mean, we had. I think people might say like something like Spider-Man No Way Home. That might be like a fan favorite MCU movie within Phase 4, but I honestly would rather choose this movie because I don't know. I'm not saying No Way Home was a bad movie, but it felt more. I mean, if you compare it to Wakanda Forever, this Spider-Man No Way Home felt more of a fan service than Wakanda Forever, and at least with Wakanda Forever, felt more like a film. While with this one, you had to understand, you have to know the whole entire MCU, like what it is, and then the movies that are not part of the MCU and that are still Marvel related things. And it's more of a thing where you can still enjoy it, but just having a deep understanding of like, hey, the importance of bringing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back was, the importance of them coming back to the role was, like, if you know the backstory of what happened with their filmography, it just makes the experience better. But at least with this, yeah, I mean, if you guys didn't know, Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played Black Panther, had passed away. I believe end of 2019, 2020. He passed away, and Ryan Coogler, who had directed the Creed movies and Black Panther, he was actually developing the script with obviously Chadwick Boseman and mind, like him returning. Apparently, it was confirmed that Namor was still part of the script, like his importance in the story was always part of it, but it was gonna have um, Chadwick Boseman, and then when he heard it, it was disappointing. Um, but yeah, I mean, knowing the backstory of that, I mean, it's important to know, like, what really went down, but just watching the movie without, kind of knowing the backstory information on reality, like knowing the backstory of the production actually makes the movie more enjoyable, and it does help with the movie experience, just trying to focus on the character developments of it. This movie is honestly amazing. Namor was honestly teased in, I think, two movies. First was in Iron Man 2, towards the end of the movie, when Nick Fury and Tony Stark are having a confrontation towards the end of the movie. You can see a panel behind. One of the panel shows footage from the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton. The other panel shows a map, and in one of the maps you get to see a location of Namor, which is pretty interesting. The location of Wakanda, and then I think, I don't remember. I believe it was Endgame where they kind of reference, not directly Namor, but like reference Namor and his people and his culture. So yeah. I'm not going to say who the villain is. It just ruins the experience. But yeah, the story overall, honestly, it's I will have to say this is a really amazing movie. It's a really amazing comic book movie, and I didn't expect a movie like this to be amazing. Didn't really have high expectations. So far was good. I think out of every Phase 4 movie, this movie, Shang-Chi, and I guess Spider-Man No Way Home are like the top three movies I would put in the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But in terms of like content, including the Disney Plus shows, it's gotta be this, Loki, and Shang-Chi. Amazing. Um, the direction of the way it was told, amazing. I would say this. I do, in terms of in terms of story wise, I do. This is just my preference. I do kind of like Black Panther, the first movie, but overall, I think this is a much better filmography and much better film, because one thing I have an issue with Black Panther, the first movie, is just the final battle, like the CGI when they're in the train tunnel over. it falls apart and it just ruins the movie experience. And then with this movie, it's with the past few Marvel content, there's been terrible, you know, including including the trailer for Ant-Man 3, just terrible green screens and whatnot. And Thor: Love and Thunder. I think yeah, that was the last Marvel movie I saw in the theaters. And I'm including Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Morbius, because those are Marvel movies that don't take place in the MCU, but came out around similar timings with other Phase 4 contents. It's CGI has been terrible, story is garbage, CGI is just awful, acting is terrible, and whatnot. And honestly, I think this movie is amazing. Like, I think this will be one of the best, not the best, but one of the, that and The Batman are like two of the best comic book movies in 2022 so far. And I would put Batman a little bit above, but they're both like, I can't really compare the two because they're two complete. Even though they're comic book movies, they're two completely different take on our beloved characters. You got the Batman, who is a loner, and he is a detective, works with cops, while this Wakanda Forever is it's kind of like Green Lantern in a sense, where there's a community and it's like their own country, and you deal with like politics and whatnot, and that's completely different. So, and it's really about like this, not just family, but forgiveness and whatnot. And yeah, it's kind of like two different things. But yeah, honestly, this is one of the best comic book movies of 2022. It's like, I would say this is the second greatest comic book movie in 2022. Number one's gotta be the Batman, but I was overall surprised. I would recommend this movie to actually technically anyone, even to kids. And I would say, even though I'm a big Batman fan, and I preferred, I'm a DC lover. I would defend DC no matter what over Marvel, but I would say this is also a move, like, unlike Wakanda Forever, the Batman, I feel like you gotta be like a teenager to kind of understand what's going on, while with Marvel, Wakanda Forever, you can, it's not as dark as the Batman, where I feel like with the Batman, since it has a dark tone, it's not really appropriate for little kids. But with Wakanda Forever, it does, unlike the Batman, touch on a more human elements of this story. And the human elements are so amazing, well written, and it's still a thing where I can even show it to little kids at school. People, kids in elementary and whatnot, they would enjoy it. So yeah, the CGI has improved a lot. I mean, I saw Thor: Love and Thunder. That movie was forgettable. I mean, they had mother freaking Christian Bale in the movie as the villain, one of the main characters of the movie. And apparently that movie made, like, his performance was good, but the overall movie itself made it forgettable in a sense. This movie, I feel like it was really good, and I'm gonna compare it to like Thor, just because it's the last Marvel project that came out before Wakanda. So with Thor, obviously the comedy side would help, but it was so trimmed down that the story didn't really add up as good as Wakanda Forever. And Wakanda Forever is like, I think, one of the longest Marvel movies within the franchise. It's like close to 3 hours. There's a mid-credit scene, but not an end-credit scene. But overall, since they didn't trim it that much, the thing is, it was really hard. It's really hard to trim down the story itself just because of how important every scene was. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much my thought. I would rate this 8 out of 10. Um, yeah, I would rate the Batman like 8.5. This is an 8 out of 10. I would say A. So yeah, I would recommend watching this movie. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, please stay tuned for more content. Please subscribe to this channel, give this a thumbs up, and share this video with everyone else. So yeah, take care and have a nice